Done. So worksheet 3, I think, yes, we'll do 7, 9, and 11 in this video or in this session. All right, reference angle of 4 pi over 3. Some people work these problems without drawing the picture. I think the picture is helpful. Maybe after you've done a bunch, you could maybe pull it off without the picture, but I think it's helpful. Let's see, 4 over 3. Another way to say that would be 1 1/3 pi. Again, that looks a little bit weird, and we've stopped writing mixed fractions like that long ago. But it's kind of helpful because it's 1 and... Oh, the video's frozen. The screen is frozen.
Frozen approximately 11 seconds.
So, 1 1/3 pi, so we're past pi, and we're a third of the way past pi, or a third of the way over to 2 pi. So somewhere in there, right? We're not past 1.5 pi, 3 pi over 2. 1 1/3 is less than 1.5. So we're into the third quadrant. The reference angle would be this much. Well, it was pi to get to here, and it was a third pi to go past there. So yes, the reference angle is pi over 3. So that one's true. Number 2, the reference angle of 11 pi over 6. Let's see, 11 over 6. That's almost 2 pi, right? That's almost all the way around. So almost 2 pi is into the fourth quadrant. 11 pi over 6. Reference angle is get to the nearest x-axis. So how much further do I need to go? Well, 1/6, right? I'm 11/6 there. I need to go 1 more sixth. So the reference angle will be pi over 6, not pi over 12. So 2 is out.
So check mark there.
And the reference angle of negative 5 pi over 4. So negative means we're going backwards. Backwards 1 1/4. So I land in the second quadrant. And the reference angle would be this much. Well, I rotated 1 1/4. So that extra amount is pi over 4. So 1 and 3 are true. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's worded strange.
Yeah.
Which the following is false. Well, 2 was false, so only 2. Good catch. Thank you. Got to read carefully on these things. Number 9. If cosecant is 5/13 and tangent is less than 0, so not cosecant, cosine is 5/13, tangent is less than 0. So cosine is positive, tangent is negative. Let's see. So cosine is positive on the right, because cosine is an x thing. So cosine's positive over there. Tangent is negative. If you do the all students take calculus thing, maybe that helps. Tangent is negative in 2 and 4.
Okay, how did you see 2?
Tangent is positive in 1 and 4, or 1 and 3, negative in 2 and 4. So tangent's negative in 2 and 4, cosine's positive in 1 and 4. So the overlap there would be in quadrant 4. In quadrant 4, cosine's positive, tangent's negative. So I know my angle's in quadrant 4. I can draw that. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, or x over r, however you want to think of it. If you do adjacent and hypotenuse, though, you have to be careful. Well, hypotenuse isn't hard, but adjacent to the origin, maybe, adjacent to the angle. So that side is 5. I'm missing a side. Oh, but this is one of those special right triangles. Do you remember what? 5, 12, 13. 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13, 8, 15, 17. Again, if you don't know those, it's fine. You just have to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. By the way, my picture is not exactly correct. What's wrong? It should be negative 12. Okay, so you have to use the picture to figure out who's positive and who's negative. So 12 is going down, so 12 is negative. So now I'm ready. I am ready. I'm going to go ahead and label these opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. That's not entirely necessary, but I think it makes it a little easier as we go forward. Sine's opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. In fact, they gave me cosine, so I should get that one right regardless. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. And then the other three are the reciprocal pairs, so I don't really even have to think about opposites and adjacents. I'm just going to flip them over. 13 over negative 12, 13 over 5, 5 over negative 12.
Do we have to draw a picture if we just know that X and Y and
So do you have to draw the triangle? Is that the question?
yeah, do I have
If you're not going to draw the triangle, then I would need you to at least say quadrant 4, x equals 5, r equals 13, and y equals negative 12.
yeah.
I would strongly recommend drawing the triangle. But a few people can get by with either visualizing it, or if they know really well the x, y, and r business, it can be done without a picture. I think a picture is super helpful, but not absolutely necessary. Showing your work, though, is. So if you don't do the picture, at least show me something. Number 11. Tangent is negative 3, and theta is between pi over 2 and pi. We haven't seen one quite like that, but if we think back to what the angles look like, let's see, that was 0 and pi over 2. So this is just trying to tell me where to put the angle. But rather than with this confusing, sine's positive or cosine is negative, it just tells me the angle's between pi over 2 and pi. So it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll draw it in the second quadrant, because that's between pi over 2 and pi. Now, labeling it, I know that tangent is opposite over adjacent, but I've only got one number there. Anybody know how to? Yeah, just put it over 1. So 3 is the opposite, 1 is the adjacent. Where did that negative come from? The 1. So be careful. It looks like the negative's attached to the 3. But the picture would say, no, the 3 is positive. It's the 1 that was negative. And then when we reduced and simplified, it became negative 3. But that negative came from the 1, because the 1's going to the left. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. 1 plus 9 is 10, so square root of 10. Now we're all set up. It should be easy from here. Although, again, it's probably not a bad idea to label everybody. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, which we can fix. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Also needs fixing. Cosecant, these are out of order than I'm used to. Cosecant goes with sine, so if I flip the sine, secant goes with cosine. So if I flip the cosine, I'm not going to leave it over 1, right? I can get rid of the 1. Cotangent, I could have answered cotangent at the very beginning without any picture at all, because cotangent is the flip of tangent. So without knowing pictures or quadrants or anything, I could have flipped tangent and got cotangent correct.